Hello, good morning. In this video, we will start studying Shakespeare's famous tragedy Macbeth. In this video, we will study the first act of Macbeth. Macbeth is known as a tragedy of ambition. Like any other Shakespearean tragic hero, Macbeth also had some tragic flaw. His tragic flaw or his hamartia was his being over ambitious. Let us begin the first scene of the first act. We come across the three witches who meet in a desolate place and they meet there to predict the future. They say they will meet Macbeth when the battle is over, and after that they disappear. In this short in this short scene, we can come across two very famous lines by William Shakespeare. First, fair is foul and foul is fair, and also when the battle is lost and won. Then we come to the second scene of the first act, and we come to know that Scotland is at war. And King Duncan, the king of Scotland, he faces not only his own rebellious kinsmen but also an invasion by King Swino of Norway. In this scene, King Duncan receives many significant reports. First, the death of the rebel Macdonald at the hand of brave Macbeth. He also comes to know about Macbeth's action against the Norwegians and the treachery of the Thane of Cawdor who has sided with the enemy. In each case, however, Macbeth's heroism shines out, leading to victory for Scotland. And finally, Duncan orders the execution of the traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, and also arranges for his title to pass to Macbeth. Thus, in this scene, we are introduced to Macbeth as a hero, as a brave general. The introduction of Macbeth as a warrior hero is crucial to the play because tragedy depends on our witnessing the downfall of already a great man. Macbeth appears before us as a great man, as a noble man. He does not come from lower walks of life. He is a man of blue blood like any other Shakespearean tragic hero. In the third scene, the witches reappear and they encounter Macbeth and Banquo. These witches they make three prophecies. The first two is about Macbeth and the last one is about Banquo. First they predict that Macbeth shall be the Thane of Cawdor and then he will become the king. Banquo, although he shall not himself rule in Scotland, but he will be the father to future generations of kings. Immediately, these witches vanish into air, leaving the two captains in amazement. And then Ross and Angus, these are noblemen in Scotland, they arrive there and they confirm what we already know that Macbeth is to be invested with the thainship of Cawdor. And in this way, we see that the first prophecy made by the witches has come true. In the next scene, it is the palace courtroom of King Duncan, and Duncan receives the news of the execution of Cawdor and delivers formal thanks to Macbeth and Banquo for their part in the battle. Then Duncan announces that his successor as king will be his son Malcolm. It astonishes Macbeth. This news surprises and shocks Macbeth, and his ambition to become the king receives a jolt. Macbeth, frustrated and angry at the news of Malcolm's investor as Prince of Cumberland, breathes to himself the words, "Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. So, Macbeth has plans. Macbeth wants to become the king, and the prophecies made by the witches have awakened his ambition. In the next scene, at Macbeth's home, the castle of Innervis, Lady Macbeth reads a letter from her husband concerning his meeting with the witches. She is immediately aware of the significance of their prophetic words, and on being informed that King Duncan will be paying a royal visit to Innervis, makes up her mind to carry out the murder of the king in order to hasten the prophecy. Lady Macbeth has her own plans. In doing so, she suggests that her husband is weak and he contains too much of the milk of human kindness. When Macbeth arrives from the court of Duncan bearing news of the king's forthcoming visit, his wife makes her plans clear to him. King Duncan and his party arrive at Innervis in the next scene. Various formal greetings are exchanged between the king and Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, like a chameleon, now takes on the more typical role of perfect hostess. The king is delighted to come here, and to him, this castle appears to be a paradise. But in the womb of time, we know that this place has the seeds of death and destruction. In the next scene, Macbeth ponders the deed that he is about to perform. He is aware of the powerful reasons for murdering the king, but he has doubts because Duncan is his relative and his guest and also his king. He knows there would be a massive reprisal if the murder was doubted to be committed by him. He decides not to murder the king. This is a very crucial moment because if he makes the wrong decision, nothing can avert his tragedy. But if he is able to make the right decision, he can avoid his tragedy. But unfortunately, Shakespeare's tragic hero make the wrong choice, and this is because of their tragic flaw. That is, for Macbeth, it is his ambition. It is his ambition that makes him kill the king. However, here he decides that he is not going to murder the king, but then comes Lady Macbeth and she calls Macbeth a coward. She says that though she is a woman and a mother, but she would have killed her own child in order to achieve her goal. These words move Macbeth and he agrees to kill the king. This act is very important because it establishes that the drama is about ambition. The three witches they prophesy that Macbeth will become the Thane of Cawdor. They also prophesy that Macbeth will become the King of Scotland, but they never said that Macbeth will become the King of Scotland by murdering King Duncan. It is Macbeth's own ambition that makes him take the decision of murdering the king. So this act ends here. We will come with another video where we will study the second act of Macbeth. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the channel.